Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jake with Snapkeep MTG, and I'm moving. Sorry about all of the boxes around me, but next time you see me, we should be in a new place, new filming setup. It will be awesome. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about Gonti, Lord of Luxury. This is one of my personal commander decks and one I love so much and I put so much time and care into. It's super fun. The whole thing is about stealing our opponent's cards and using their cards against them to win the game. I just love this deck. It was an idea I had for a really long time, and I finally put the deck together and gotten it to a place that I really like it. And it's now one of my personal favorites, and now I'm going to share it with you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the deck tech. Do you enjoy decks with off-the-wall strategies? Do you enjoy playing with strong mono-black tools such as Cabal Coffers? Do you like playing with your opponent's cards and beating them with their own stuff? If any of that sounds fun to you, Gonti Lord of Luxury may be the deck for you. By abusing Gonti's ETB trigger, we are going to try to play with our opponent's cards and use them to beat them at their own game. With this deck, every game is going to be different and your power level is going to scale to the table. This makes this a great choice if you are often switching between playgroups and playing with new people, and every game is going to feel fresh. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the deck and tackle the 8 different sections that make up Gonti Lord of Luxury. First up, we've got Ramp. Now, as a mono black deck, our ramp options are basically limited to artifacts. So we are playing some artifact ramps such as Soul Ring, but then we are also playing Felwar Stone. Felwar Stone taps to add any mana that a land our opponent's control could produce. This proves invaluable later in the game when we steal cards with Gonti and sometimes have activated abilities that we can activate using that mana. And then we are also playing Solemn Simulacrum as a way to get lands onto a battlefield to power up some of our powerful lands later. Next up, we've got Card Draw. Now, as a mono black deck, that means power at any cost. That's what mono black is all about, and that means we're going to be paying life to draw cards. This shows up in a few different forms in our deck. We've got cards like Sign in Blood to pay life and draw cards quickly, Necropotence, which is an absolute beast and can draw us tons and tons of cards and win us the game, and then we've got Greed, where we can pay life to draw cards. Now let's talk removal. In mono black, we have tons of fantastic options for single target creature removal. A few choice selections we got here is Defile, which will give target creature -1/-1 until the end of turn, where that is equal to the number of swamps we control. We have Snuff Out, where we can pay life instead of mana to cast it and destroy a creature. And then we have creatures like Noxious Gearhulk, which have ETB effects when they enter the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target creature. Sticking with the removal theme, we've got Board Wipes. This is really a control deck. The control aspects allow us to have these fun themes in the deck. So we are playing a few board wipes to keep control of the board and make sure nothing gets out of hand. We've got cards like Dead of Winter, which give all creatures -X/-X, where X is the number of snow permanents we control. We have Damnation, which is just going to destroy all creatures. And then All is Dust is going to make everyone sacrifice all colored permanents they control. Now we've got Big Mana. Mono black really excels at making lots of mana and doing dumb stuff with it. So in our big mana section, we have cards like Cabal Coffers, which is going to give us mana equal to the number of swamps we control, Cryptghast, which is going to make our swamps tap for 2 mana, and then cards like Cage Sun, which is basically going to do the same thing as Cryptghast. We are going to use all of this big mana to cast multiple spells a turn and cast some really big game-ending stuff we'll see soon. Now we've got Sharing is Caring. We are finally reaching the really specific Gonti parts of the deck. All of these strong mono black aspects we have been talking about up until this point are just to support what we've got here. So this section is all about taking our opponent's stuff and using it as our own. Karen Mindeater is going to exile cards from our opponent's hands so that we can play them. We've got Mirage Mirror, which can turn into basically any permanent on the board. And then we have Chaos Wand, which is going to allow us to exile cards from the top of our opponent's library until we hit an instant sorcery and cast it for free. These are just more cards that are basically trying to replicate the Gonti effect and play as much of our opponent's stuff as we can. Now it's time to double up. Since our deck is really all revolving around Gonti and his ability to steal our opponent's cards, we are going to want to do that as many times as we can. Now, being mono black, we don't have access to as many cards as, say, blue-white does with flicker effects and that sort of thing, so we're kind of making it work. So we've got cards like Panharmonicon to double up Gonti's ETB trigger so we can see multiple cards. We have Helm of the Host, which is going to make copies of Gonti during combat so that we can get more triggers. And then we've got Conjurer's Closet, which is going to flicker Gonti at the end of turn, giving us even more triggers so we can play even more of our opponent's cards. As much as I would love to end every game by killing our opponents with their own cards, we are going to have to play some finishers of our own. So we've got some super mono black staples here that are really great at finishing up the game when we need to. First up, we've got Torment of Hailfire, where we can pay X to make our opponents pay 3 life or sacrifice a non-land permanence. We've got Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which is going to drain our opponents equal to the number of black pips we have on the battlefield. And then we've got big, huge spells like Rise of the Dark Realms, which are going to bring back all of the creatures in all graveyards under our control. Finally, we have our Snap Keeps. The Snap Keeps are the 3 cards that we would see in our opening hand and make us think, dang, that's a Snap Keep. First up is Expedition Map. Expedition Map is a card that is going to allow us to sacrifice it to go get a land into our hands. We have some really powerful lands in our deck, such as Cabal Coffers, which is going to produce lots of mana for us and help us win the game later. Then we've got Blade of Selves. Blade of Selves gives the equipped creature Myriad. That's going to allow us to get multiple Gonti triggers and therefore play more of our opponent's cards and hopefully win the game. Then lastly is Bolas's Citadel. This card is absolutely crazy. It is going to allow you to play cards off the top of your library by paying life instead of mana. If we get this in conjunction with something like Necropotence, we are almost guaranteed to win. And that's our deck. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I really hope you liked it. I know this deck is not nearly as budget as my last deck, but soon I'm going to have another budget deck for you guys. But if you're looking for a really fun and powerful deck, this is really an awesome option. This is maybe the deck I have the most fun with. It changes based on each table you're with, each play group. It is an awesome deck to bring to an LGS and play with other people's cards and get to just have a really different experience every game. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I hope you like and subscribe. We've got new videos coming out every Sunday, gameplay, deck techs, and more. So make sure you come on back, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.